Welcome, Lowco High School football fans. You can hear the sounds of the game right now as we go live with Wes Kerr and Max Araj both
What a
still
clutch
out
kick.
on Ladies
What a
Island.
clutch kick from Brady Lamb. 32-yard field goal, making it a two-possession lead for Buford Academy over PHA. Patrick Henry was in a great game. A heck of a kick from Brady Lamb.
Yeah, great kick.
Brady Lamb.
Puts Buford Academy 25-16 over PHA.
25-16, so that may put it out of reach. How much time left on the clock
Just
over
three
there?
and a half minutes to go.
3:30
in the fourth. That might
All
be
right, so
the
there you
dagger
go.
right there on a clutch 32-yard field goal.
And Grady Lamb, Wes, I was on the sideline with you in the first half of that game shooting some photos. And Grady Lamb with a play that will not really show up in the box score, but absolutely was pivotal in this game. Late in the first half, there was a high snap on a punt, and Lamb went way up and got the ball when it looked like he had no shot. And then he unleashed a punt he was backed up to his goal line and had to go skying to get this ball. If it goes over his head, it's probably
He might be the most
at best a
impactful
safety,
player.
at worst a touchdown. He ends up grabbing it.
I think you got to give it to Nick Underwood. Underwood has been the driving force, but man, great.
But on
Come
this
up
play,
huge.
Lamb
Special
goes up
teams,
and
just like I
gets.
said last week, special teams can decide these types of games, and turnovers. Turnovers play a huge role in this game as well, on both sides.
Absolutely. While I was there, Patrick Henry had a couple of fumbles that killed drives.
But BA had a big turnover win against them. They were driving, looking to go up 2 scores. Lost the ball at the 2. Patrick Henry scooped up, and they ended up eventually tying the ball game after they came up with another. Well, I guess it was a turnover on downs, but a miscue in terms of special teams for Buford Academy. But BA has had all the momentum in this fourth quarter. They've scored now 9 unanswered points, touchdown, then the most recent field goal. They are 3.5 minutes away from picking up a huge region win.
So Buford Academy is close to sealing it. No, I was talking about that play. It was very loud when I was trying to talk about it. But Grady Lamb earlier in the game, just before the end of the half, goes up to get a high punt snap that looked like it was going to be a safety or a touchdown the other way, and he goes up and gets it. And then not only does he avoid the terrible
here
play.
comes Patrick Henry. Michael Tucker Mathis connects for a long gain.
Oh, my.
And Corley again, who I believe caught that touchdown.
Wow.
So yeah,
Lamb not only went up and got the ball, but he also gets off a punt that ends up going into the end zone at the other end. I don't know what the official yardage was on that punt, but it had to be about 70, I would think, that it covered. But it covered more ground than that because he had to go back and get it. So it was an unbelievable play. But anyway, I'm going to get you some scores here as I look to update them. You keep us updated as something big happens. Where's Patrick Henry on the field now?
They are right about at midfield with 3:18 to go. They're down now. They're down 9 points, so they'd have to score quickly and probably go for the onside
kick. Yeah, that would have to be in play. We do have a few scores to pass along, and I am getting updates here. Last report, Buford trailing Philip Simmons 31-12 at the end of the third quarter. So they're going to the fourth.
Now
Marcus Walsh. What's that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Marcus Walsh on his way home from Hilton Head Island, where the Seahawks blanked Aiken 45-0. They moved to 2-1 with 2 shutouts and 2 lopsided ones at that. May River now on senior night leading 41-6 in the fourth quarter. Tim Alonzo is
Oh
out
boy.
there. We'll hear from him later. Savannah Country Day leading Bluffton. It looks like 24-16 now. It was a 21-0 game at one point in favor of Savannah Country Day. Bluffton's gotten back in it, but just a minute
Holly
left in
with
the
another
third,
big
so that
run.
game not
Holly has
over
been
yet.
once again a big difference maker.
We are looking for scores from Colleton County at Lower Richland and Battery Creek at Keenan. So if you have those, help us out.
Got a third down and 7 for Patrick Henry. Michael Tucker Mathis in the shotgun. They try to mount a comeback. They're down 2 scores. Mathis scrambling in some trouble, and BA is going to bring them down right near the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th and probably the ball game right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they need to find some miracle here.
I heard the screeching eagle sound effect.
Oh yeah, it's 4th down.
The screeching eagle gets me going. That's
Screeching
funny.
eagle, and then the clock on top of it.
Hampton County, I was looking to see if we had an update on that, but
Go.
14-7 at
And
halftime was our last report.
inside the 15.
My goodness. Huge catch.
Patrick Henry staying alive. What a throw from Michael Tucker Mathis.
I'll see if I can get some footage here.
And they'll have to hurry up here.
Whale
definitely have
Branch.
to hurry up here.
Whale Branch up 28-6 in the third quarter when Max bailed for Ladies Island. East Clarendon leading Hardyville 14-7 at halftime at last report. Bethesda Academy beats John Paul II 12-3 in quite a battle.
Michael Tucker Mathis trying to inch his way in.
He's at the one.
Down
He's
at the
1 yard line.
Max, you show us the field, Wes, and we can still hear you.
Let me get over here.
So a fourth down.
Experimental broadcasting
through the air.
Yeah, they're going to take a timeout here.
There they call timeout.
I would quickly on the Whale Branch game. Yes, I was at that game. With
now
there we go, Javon Livingston.
12 with a minute left.
Yeah, that game was a very weird game. First half, at least, for Whale Branch. They go into the half 14-0. They're 2 scores on a kickoff return to start off the game for a touchdown, and then they score on a punt fumble. So that's how they got their 14 points, and then they scored their 21st point on a kickoff fumble. So,
EJ trying to sneak their way in. And it is a touchdown.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, PHA.
Game's getting interesting.
Touchdown, Patriots. So it is now 25-22.
We'll see. Imagine probably just go for 1. Pick the extra
Update
point. You're down by
Silver
2.
Bluff, still 14-7. Hampton County with 6:24 to play.
Yeah, good game up there.
Yeah, as expected.
Between those 2 schools. Yeah, we expected it. Yeah.
Good old Donnybrook. A couple other scores to pass along. Actually, only one, I guess, that we hadn't mentioned already. Cross Schools trailing Cathedral 44-8 at halftime. So looking for a final on that one if anybody's got it. Looking for scores on Keenan Battery Creek. I'll let you guys tell us what's going on over there while I
coming up here.
Seek some other scores.
Coming up for the extra point.
Hey, sell out! Sell out!
Can get a...
Eat them up, buddy! Sell out! Eat them up, 7!
Extra point is up, and it's good. 25-23 with 1:21 to go, and you expect an onside kick to come for Patrick Henry.
Yeah, and this is one we definitely want to keep an eye on because this will be the decider for the game. So big onside kick here coming for THA. Keep their hopes alive here in the region, and what is a very extremely difficult region to play in. Very competitive.
Heck of a job by Michael Tucker Mathis. He came in this game midway at quarterback. Of course, he was mostly playing as a running back, versatile playmaker, but
Yeah,
put him in
he's
at
a
quarterback, and he's found
Swiss
something
Army
excellent.
knife.
Yep, yep,
Yeah, Mr. Do It All.
absolutely.
121 to play, so they'll have to get the onside kick. Max, see if you can get yourself positioned where we can
Yeah, I'm
watch
gonna
that
try.
live.
What's up, Stricklander? How are you, man? Good.
Central New Jersey checking in. Cuphead TV.
Yeah, y'all fine. Y'all fine.
They must be.
God.
I don't know. I can't even narrow it down to which Mid River shark they could be related to, but the Seaman family comes to mind. That's one of the many New Jersey transplants. We got Narco. We're gonna get a copyright strike thanks to Narco. We give all credit to Tommy, whatever his name is. All right, I'll try to avoid the copyright strike by muting Wes and Max for the moment. Beaufort's own was Javon. You're tuned in. Were you not able to get your stream off tonight? I'll have to hit you with the link so you can come talk sports with us. And
All
are we
right, here we
good?
go, boys.
We are
Here
back.
we go, boys. We are on. Here's the onside.
Onside kick live. We're gonna go full screen to Max here. See what
Oh,
we can see.
out of
Out of
bounds, right out of
bounds.
bounds.
Kicked it too far. Yep,
Oh,
kicked it out of
goodness.
bounds.
Too much on it.
And, yep. Yeah, 2 timeouts with 121. Not looking great here for Patrick Henry, Buford Academy, trying to
Buford's got to
churn
handle the
this
snap.
one out, and
They gotta figure
they can
something out
go,
here.
and then they can go chew clock as they do in NCAA. They still have 2
Buford
timeouts
high.
though, so
Yeah, they got a slight
yep,
chance here. We'll see what they
yep.
can do.
Yeah, no go from Ladies
They
Island
can.
tonight. Signal not strong enough. Got to work on our
Buford's
broadband
the
in the rural areas.
Buford score, absolutely shocking though. That
Yeah,
Buford score.
well, how about it's not over yet? Not just yet,
Yeah,
because
they can fight back in.
Buford with a 29-yard touchdown pass from Anthony Kaler to Kwalik Isnar.
Oh,
And a 2-point conversion by Javion Falls. I don't know any of these
All
names.
right, see what they do
And
here.
it's 31-20.
all right, they're in the
And
shotgun.
then
BA
Buford,
trying to run the rest of this clock out, but
Buford's
Rip the ball out. Come on. Rip it
Buford's
BHA.
out.
Malkiel Sawyer recovers the onside kick. So it's not quite over
Oh,
up at
Oh,
Fitzsimmons.
ooh,
that's
watch
interesting.
out.
Not just yet.
Watch out.
We also have a final score and 41-6 over Lake City, 3-0, big win on senior night.
Oh,
They
nice.
host Brooklyn Casey next Friday at the Shark Tank. So that is
Bay
a
River 3
really
and
good
0.
matchup.
Sharks are 3 and 0.
Yeah.
That's great to see.
And looking good doing it.
And this is a team
Looking
that
good doing
I
it.
thought had strong expectations to be a contender in this region. Certainly showing it, taking care of business so far. These few games, the ground attack has been terrific. Coaching staff has really grasped on what they need to do to really empower and see this team reach a new gear early. I love what Bonneville's doing over there. Great to see that, so, especially for someone who's been with this program for a while. You've seen the ups and downs, and now you're seeing some excellent football early in the year, and some real hope in the program that they
Yeah.
can really compete in this region. So
Yeah.
BA 105 away. They have PHA's 1 timeout left.
Yeah.
Second
BHA needs
down.
to find a way to rip the ball out here. They got to play aggressive on this. Rip it out. Come on. Yeah, not able to there. So they're going to probably take their final timeout.
Your last timeout with
And there they
55
go. Final
seconds.
timeout. Yep. This should do
And
it.
even if they
This
stop
should
them, it'll
Javon,
be
yeah.
around 15
I get it.
seconds left.
Track.
So it will take quite a miraculous finish for the Patriots.
Yeah, this should
Looks
do
like
it
BA
for
will salt one out in a Donnybrook on Ladies Island, and they'll be 3-1
Yep.
after that.
And more
You know,
importantly, this is a
not
region win. It's a region game.
a huge one.
This has big
yeah.
implications when you look towards the postseason. Obviously, Thomas Hayward's going to play a factor. And what should be a really fun region these next few weeks.
No doubt
Either
about
1A
it.
is going to be
And
really fun this year.
Philip
Although
Simmons with
Thomas
a
Harris is
pick.
looking like the clear top team, you might argue.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think so. And I think BA now with this win has to be considered kind of the 1B until they play each other.
Oh, here comes Nick Underwood, and looks
That's
like
going to do it.
that will do it. He will pick up the first down and should be victory formation as BA is going to hold on to knock off PHA.
Going
Nick
to be
Underwood,
a
Yep.
tremendous
final of
performance tonight.
25-23. I do have another final score for you momentarily
Where's the sound
from
effect?
Orangeburg. I'm working on it. I had to update the thing first so I could get back to that tab. It's a lot to do this. There it is. There's the sound effect. Thomas Hayward remains unbeaten. Pitches another shutout, 39-0 at Orangeburg
And
Prep.
And
that is
danger
official.
final
It's the ball game. Yep.
25-23 Buford Academy and a Donnybrook here on Ladies Island is BA picks up an important region win over the Patriots. Heck of a game tonight here in Buford. And an excellent comeback
Great win.
efforts by Patrick Henry. I'll tell you, this PHA team is not going to be one you want to play late in the year, especially if Michael Tucker Mathis continues to do what he did. But BA just a little bit better, forced a couple of important turnovers early, and played some tough defense late in the ball game. Camp with that big stop later in the fourth quarter. PHA did find a way to come back and make it interesting, but Buford Academy with a couple more big plays in that last quarter to put them over the top. But tremendous ball game. Tremendous ball game. And I'm excited to
And
see
the final score was
25-23.
25-23
There it is.
Eagles of Buford Academy. And we've got another one for you in the comments from our friend Javon Livingston at Buford Zone. 35-12 the final from Seabrook. Vale Branch Warriors stay on track. They're 2-1. Coach Hatcher going to be as happy as Coach Hatcher gets in season next week.
Absolutely.
So
Whale Branch has turned
Whale
the corner
Branch boys
quickly after
living right.
the egg that was laid week 0. Week 1, trying to get
It's
those weeks
hatched.
right. Yeah.
Hatched into a
Yeah.
raptor.
Yeah.
So Thomas Hayward's 39-0 win. I can run you through the scoring because we got terrific live Twitter coverage from Thomas Hayward football this year. Tonio Banner with the touchdown pass to Donovan Robinson to make it 6-0. Then Eli McLemore recovers a fumble. It's 6-0 after one. Nicholas Robinson into the end zone on a 5-yard run to make it 14-0. Mitchell White with a big stop on a fumbled punt to take over at the 36. Antonio Banner puts it in from the 4 to make it 21-0 midway through the second quarter. Then it was Nicholas Robinson again into the end zone, 27-0 Rebels. Another fumble and another Nicholas Robinson touchdown from the 5 to make it 33-0. That's where it was at halftime. And then Antonio Banner capped the scoring with a touchdown run for the 39-0 final. So reigning Lowco Player of the Week, Tonio Banner, a big game. Nick Robinson, little bit of an unsung hero. He does it on the other side of the ball too, and he really is
Well,
a threat, and
yeah.
that allows them. That's part of what allows Tony the opportunities he gets is that they have to respect the guy coming downhill too.
Yeah, I mean, continuing to be on a roll. Tony here, but I'll tell you who the hero tonight was. Grady Lamb. That huge save earlier, as you mentioned, on the
Yes.
punt that looked like it was going to skyward, and then the big kick, which was the difference in this ball game from 32 yards, a field goal to make it a two-possession game, and
Yep.
that's what held up for the win. So Grady Lamb with probably the difference-making performance alongside Nick Underwood tonight. But when you have that performance from special teams, both on the punting side and then with that clutch kick, that's what you need in these tight games. So huge congrats to Grady Lamb for what he was able to do, the senior coming through. But BA's defensive line, I thought, played really well throughout this game. A couple of turnovers forced early and even late, they were able to really limit what PHA was going to do, which helped set up the game-winning field goal opportunity. Another guy I wanted to shout out, Nathan Chavaria Byrne was everywhere in this ball game. Came up with, I believe, one, maybe two fumble recoveries and was dominant in the trenches. That is someone who's going to be a key piece going forward for Buford Academy. So keeping an eye on him. And then Sumner Pingree also with a really nice performance defensively for BA. So D-line stepping up a couple of times and just a really fun contest here. PHA performed well. And this looked like it was going to get away very, very quickly, or at least, in that first half and early in the second, but they withstood a couple of punches, hit with some big force turnovers of their own, including that fumble recovery inside the two when VA was about to make the two-score game and just kind of hung around. They almost pulled off the comeback. So props to PHA for making it a tremendous ball game, and excited to see what comes from here for the Patriots trying to defend their 1A state title.
Indeed, yeah. I don't think that I think Hayward is definitely the front runner, and
Yep.
has kind of flexed so far. But I don't think any of the other teams are out of the mix for second
No.
place, and
No,
honestly, a rematch in the state championship game is not out of the stretch.
I
Is not a
agree.
stretch.
I
I mean,
100% agree.
that we could
Yeah,
have even the 3 seed could
Yeah.
come
Right.
through and
That
make it.
2-3 game. Yeah. Right.
We could have 3 teams from this region in the semis,
That's
potentially
definitely
even 4 if
possible.
Carlton Prep gets
Yeah.
healthy. Like,
Right.
it could be a sweep.
yeah,
So I think all these teams are quality squads. They all play hard start to finish. That's the biggest thing to me. They
Right.
don't quit on a game at all.
Yep.
Oh, looks like Savannah Country Day has tacked on another one, 38-16 now in favor of well, we got some real slow jams going on over there.
Yeah. Playing
I know.
some
It's great.
Looks like
country
some
song,
John
some folk country
Tesh,
song or
Kenny
Yeah,
something.
G.
some
Yeah.
Sounds like
soprano
Kenny G.
saxophone. Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do have a
you know,
score
I
update, and it doesn't bode well for some of us who are bold homers. Keenan 26, Battery Creek 0 into the third. So not going well for the Dolphins tonight.
yeah, do we have a score on the Hardyville game?
At last report 14-7, but
That was
Boss Man
halftime.
hasn't checked in since then. Yeah, that was at halftime.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I think
I
if you look at
I don't
this,
like the silence. It makes me nervous.
it does make me a little nervous as well. If you look at this region, Thomas Hayward is the clear and ultimate favorite for me right now. I think they just have too strong of a team.
I agree.
For anyone to compete with them. I think they are the state championship favorites, but there's never gonna, it's never gonna be a clear and ultimate favorite. In this region, this is by far the most competitive region in all of SPISA 1A. There's no doubt there, because you really have 4 teams all vying for a spot in the playoffs, and they may very well have all 4 of those teams. Thomas Hayward, Colin Prep, Buford Academy, and Patrick Henry Academy vying for playoff spots as the season moves into the playoffs.
I
So
agree.
yeah, I think this is going to be a gauntlet in this region, and this is only the first. Well, apart from Thomas Hayward called him prep, this is the only other region game that's been played at the moment. So a lot can happen from now towards the end of the season. So I'm excited to see how this region turns out. But a huge win for Beaufort Academy. It really puts them in as that front runner to challenge Thomas Hayward, and I'm excited to see how that game goes. It looks like we have a final score from Philip Simmons. It's 31-20 in favor of Philip
Yep.
Simmons over Beaufort. So
Yep.
another tough loss for Beaufort High School. They go to 0-3 on the year. Very surprising, and I think I think we might have some questions raised as we go into next Friday. I think Beaufort High School, we weren't quite expecting this. I thought we would have Beaufort's first win on the season, and now they sit at 0-3, and there may
Well,
be some questions asked.
Well, it's worth noting that Samari Bonds left the game in the
Yes,
first
that is
half
true.
with a leg injury, and the report was that he was up and walking on it, but was not going to be able to come back in the game. He was out of his uniform, so no, that's the big question for them. I think 0-3 is what it is. You certainly didn't want to be there, but when you looked at that schedule, you knew it was possible. And especially after
Yes.
you lost the first two, this was a tough game, and anything can happen. And they kind of got behind the 8 ball early, and then Samari out of the game really hamstrings them on offense and made it tough for them to fight uphill. But it's not panic mode, I don't think at all, depending on the severity of the injury to Samari. But I'll also remind you, Lavern's first season, they were 0-5 and they lost a quarterback to injury, and they put in an entire new offense with a new quarterback, and they won the next 5 and went to the playoffs. So,
Right.
He's a creative guy. He's got a great coaching staff that have learned how to play the game and understand the game, and they'll plug and play and figure something out. Isaac Smalls is like a wildcat guy. Might be fun to watch sometimes. They might put him some different packages until Samari's back. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
wait and see for me. I'm not panicking at all. But hey, I have gone 27 minutes into this 2-minute drill and not shouted out the people who make it possible. The Mickelson Law Firm, our all-star sponsors, presenting the 2-minute drill of the Lowco Pigskin Live on Friday nights, bringing you through the final whistle on Friday nights, bringing you all the scores, highlights, stats we can round up, live look-ins. We got Wes and Max over at Beaufort Academy, where the Eagles won tonight. No Hilton Head Christian Academy game tonight. They're on retreat this week. But it is, Mickelson is our HHCA presenting sponsor, and they're our official real estate closing attorney. They've been with us since the beginning, 2017, and still our biggest supporter. So we appreciate Mickelson Law Firm, our all-star sponsor. And we now welcome in our fourth wheel, Tim Alonzo, fresh from May River, where the Sharks be swarming, 41-6, absolute beatdown. Tell us about May River tonight, man. They were on fire.
Yeah, so they surprised me. They came out completely new offensive scheme from what they ran in that first game against Airport. Everything was from under center, and it looks like they were just running the triple option all night. I mean, Macy, I think he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Andrew Johnson, Asa Haskins, Peter Nodelman, they all got in on the action. I think they might each have had a touchdown apiece, honestly. And yeah, the Sharks just ran the ball down their throats all night long. I don't think Tanner maybe threw 5 passes, if that.
Well, yeah, they'd rather not pass it if they don't have to.
Yeah.
That's kind of their MO.
Yeah. But I mean, it was completely different from that first game. He was taking snaps from the shotgun, from the Wildcat, everything in the first game. Today, it was literally maybe 2-second huddle each time, snapped the ball on one, and they ran the triple option for 4 quarters straight.
Yep.
Here's what I'll do.
That's what I had seen them
I'll move
do.
the phone up for you, and if
And
you do an interview, I'll just face it this way.
I'm gonna mute Wes real quick. But we'll take them off mute as soon as they get set up for an interview. But yeah, so that's what I had seen them do in the scrimmage, was the rush it up to the line, triple option. You don't know which way it's going, lots of misdirection. So I guess they got some different packages, which is good to see. But man, the defense locked down as well tonight.
Yeah,
huh?
the defense was outstanding, honestly. Um, I'd say Lake City, they rely a lot more on the pass. I think their offense would be very heavily
Yeah.
pass friendly, and it wasn't working for them in the rain tonight.
Yeah,
It
that
wasn't
that's
downpouring or
something
anything,
that
but just enough to keep your fingers slick.
just enough to be obnoxious
Yeah,
and
exactly.
yeah, keep the ball a little bit damp,
Hmm.
and that can be all the difference. Update from the Hardyville game was not good. 28-7 in the fourth. Boys hung in tough against top 10 squad, but
Yeah.
looks like it's getting away from them. So not sure what's going on with Wes and Max. I think they were going to try to get an interview with somebody. Wes, you trying to get somebody for an interview over there, buddy?
Nick Shuford. Nick Shuford.
Outstanding. Yeah, we look forward to that. And so, Tim, you said ground game, Macy, Johnson, Haskins, Nodelman, same cast of characters. Everybody's in on it.
Yep. And that offensive line looked awesome. Our guy Bo Gwynn, who was on Monday, that whole unit looked great. I mean, whatever hole they wanted, they got it each play. I don't think maybe a couple tackles for loss. There was the one sack in the first quarter on the first drive where Lake City got a strip sack on Macy for a touchdown return. That was maybe 2 minutes into the game. After that, it was May River took over. So yeah,
All
it
right.
was real
So
impressive to see.
So the Sharks are 3-0. Buford's 0-3. May River was number 9 this week. You got to think that they have the potential to climb up a little bit more even. And then I think the most shocking score of the night to me is Savannah Country Day 38 to
Yeah,
16 over Bluffton. I did not see that coming.
yeah, me neither.
0-3 team, and we talked about that the defense looked pretty good on paper, but the
Hmm.
offense looked kind of, meh. And I guess maybe the weather was a factor, but
Yeah,
certainly it did not go the way I thought it would, and Bluffton
yeah,
on the wrong end of one. So you hope that's an anomaly and they can get back on track next week. But the schedule gets tougher from here theoretically. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it looks like we've got
You guys,
an
you guys ready?
interview ready over there.
All
Yeah.
right,
Turn your
here we
phone
go.
sideways, and I will put you guys
Hold on.
in
It don't
the.
want to work with me. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it to flip sideways. It doesn't want to work with me tonight.
Oh, okay.
I've had
No
trouble with
worries.
it. I don't know how to.
Yeah, do you want an upside
No,
down view? No, no? Okay.
Yeah, let's just.
nope,
We'll do it.
nope.
We'll do
Let's
it
go
this
that
way. I'll
way.
get you guys.
Yeah.
I'll get Wes and Coach Schuford here. So here we go. Wes, take it away.
And we'll also
About
get
CG
Marcus
three
Walsh in
tonight at
here because
home,
he's waiting in the
huge
green room.
region win. Tell me about how you guys dug deep in that final quarter in a tight game to pull out a tremendous victory.
I mean, yeah, it was a hard game the whole night, back and forth. Our guys just dug down at the end of the game when we needed to, and bowed their backs. It was a huge first down last drive right there. But impressed and happy with the effort and the heart that we showed tonight. A lot of missed opportunities. Turning the
Yeah.
ball over on the one going in, not punching that one in hurt. Uh, a lot of missed tackles that we had guys in the backfield. Just a lot of missed opportunities that we've got to correct and move forward with.
But despite that, you got the job done in the fourth quarter. Nick Underwood setting the pace and offensive line doing a tremendous job as well to get that go-ahead score. And then Brady Lamb coming up clutch with the kick.
Yeah. Well, Nick's a stud. He's going to bow his neck and get us four when we need four, and he's got the ability to break them off of that. And yeah, I can't say enough about Grady. He's got plenty of leg. I mean, he's been making 52 yarders consistently in practice. So we can do a little bit job blocking for him up front. He can show his leg off a little more.
How about that play he made earlier on
Man,
that punt? He was able to corral. I mean, that's a huge play in this ball game. I mean, those little plays add up like that.
They do. I mean, another touchdown saver right there by him. Yeah, that guy was gone if Grady wasn't there. So, yeah, I mean, good team effort. A lot of corrections to make, but at the end of the day, a win's a win, and we'll take it.
And Nick Shuford, seeing your son out there, the younger one making a big play.
Yeah,
That's got to feel good.
yeah, he grew up a little bit tonight. Got his first TD on varsity and a big third down conversion on the reception over the middle on a little RPO. So yeah, he grew up a lot tonight, and we're going to need him moving forward.
never a bad thing in a learning experience, especially when it comes to a win. So, kind of what do you take away and what do you build on as you get ready to continue the schedule?
We've got to work on being more consistent. I mean, that's the thing on both sides of the ball. We've got to take care of the ball offensively, sustain drives when we need to run the clock out at the end of the game, and defensively, we just got to do a better job of wrapping up and finishing plays.
Tremendous performance tonight, and we thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Guys, you
Thanks,
got any
Coach.
questions before he goes?
No, man. Just thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Thanks for the hospitality. Patrick Mitchell set us up. Yeah, when I came in, he said, "Come see me, get some food." I already fed Wes dinner. So I got a burger and fries for the road, and it hit the spot. So just wanted to say thanks for always getting what we do here and playing along with us. We really appreciate it. And you guys have come a long way since that little beat down against Northwood, huh?
We're growing up a little bit at a time. We need to get on a steeper learning curve, but we are improving week to week, so that's good.
Right on, buddy. Great to talk to you. Take care.
Yeah, man. You too. Appreciate it.
Be good.
You get appreciate it, guys.
All
All right, guys,
right.
we'll take it back to you.
All right. Back to you, says Max. I love it. We'll let them peace out and get on the road home from Ladies Island. But before we formally introduce you, Marcus Walsh, let's go ahead and shout out some more sponsors. The MVP sponsors of Lowco Sports, Megan Jarrett, official realtor of Lowco Sports with Keller Williams, the Low Country, get you into the real estate market in the Lowco. Homegrown Home Inspections will make sure you're making a great investment in the real estate market. And if you're building a new home, you got to have that phased inspection where they'll check on it every step of the way and make sure it's built right with Homegrown Home Inspections. Hospice Care of the Low Country, the official hospice provider of Lowco Sports. They provide hospice care, palliative care, and free grief counseling, because in Hospice Care of the Low Country, it's not about dying, it's about living. And our MVP sponsors present tonight the moonlighting Marcus Walsh. He's even wearing the One Lowco shirt. We got you in full moonlight mode tonight from WHHI TV. And you were out at the Nest, where the Seahawks were back in the form we saw in week 1 when they blew out Stall. This is a little tougher opponent, and a very impressive effort tonight from Hilton Head.
I tell you what, they just came out and were absolutely incredible. Zarnecki started things off with a great return to open up the game from about the 10-yard line deep into Aiken territory at about the 34-yard line. And then, boom, 34 yards out, and they get on the board at 7-0. And then there was a muffed kick, and Hilton Head ended up recovering. That took them to a field goal. They were up 10-0 within the first, I think it was like 5 or 6 minutes. And then it was just from then on out, they just put the pedal to the metal. There were moments for Aiken, especially in the second half. I will say, though, with Hilton Head only scoring 1 touchdown in the second half, having those first 38 in the first half, you got to give some guys a little bit of breather time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Especially in a blowout. Maybe they took the foot off the gas a little bit in the second half, and Aiken had a couple of huge drives down the field, including their first drive of the second half. But they couldn't put anything up. And so it was a quick second half, 38-0 at halftime, 45-0 final score. I was really impressed. And Walters, that kid can play some quarterback. Renajetsky did not play. Walters was in there.
I'm interested to know now if it's an injury or if they like Walters.
Yeah, he was the starter last week.
I'm thinking, based off of what I saw tonight, that Walters is the guy. He has some really good weapons, obviously, that we've talked about and we've seen for years.
Well, and if Renajitsky gets healthy, he could be one of them too, because he'd be a nice little targeted tight end or split end type deal.
That's very true.
So, yeah.
But Haynes did some great stuff both in the running game and in the receiving game. But my goodness, Zarnecki was just an absolute baller tonight. He actually, from what I've seen so far, in the early season via, stats and highlights. Seeing them today of what Troy Timko was looking like previously. We did see more Troy Timko tonight, but Jay,
Marcus getting gremlined.
really
got me the other night.
The gremlins be out.
Yeah.
They be out. While Marcus is getting gremlined, we do have a final score that we did flash up on the screen, and you might have seen 14-7 final, Hampton over Silver Bluff on the road. So a bit of an ugly game. You're getting gremlined, Marcus. It looks like you're back in black.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Continue.
Pedal to the metal.
There he is.
Okay.
That can really just get after it any way that they have to. I'm impressed, though, with the fact that they came out after getting shut out last week. I think it was 24-0 last week that they got shut out.
Yeah, I was there
here tonight, and I really look certainly what BJ Payne and company can do with this team moving.
Payne will figure it out eventually.
In the McRiver game, it's going to be it's going to be fun to see where this team can go moving forward. Sexton, with the leg that he's got as well, he put a couple of field goals in there, or one field goal in there, and did some things. They just looked really, really sharp. And Aiken with Paget was able to get some things going on the ground, especially in that second half, as they were trying to move the ball down the field and possibly score. There was a pass. I forget who the intended target was, but Paget threw a dime over the middle, like 40 yards downfield, and it should have been caught. It would have been a touchdown for Aiken, and they would have at least gotten on the board. Just a couple of moments there in the second half, but it was really all Hilton Head all night from beginning to end. They just put the pedal to the metal and didn't stop. And this really turned into, I think, a state, because it's not going to get any easier with the fact that I'm going to see two of their shy schedule or the Bluffton game. And then I'll see the May River
Marcus,
game.
Marcus, I'm
well.
going to send you the link over to your email and see if you can get a more stable connection over there, perhaps, because you are cutting up just a little bit, and I want to hear more of your analysis, and I'm only getting 3 out of every 4 words or so. So I'm going to try to send you this link over and see if we can get you on a better connection.
Okay.
So we can hear more and we can
good,
hear your analysis of some of these other scores. But hang tight with this until you get it. But if you want, we'll run through the scores real quick for folks. Philip Simmons 31-20 over Beaufort against Maury Bonds, leaving that one with an injury in the first half and did not return. So, a little hamstrung, trying to make a comeback after falling behind early. 45-0 Hilton Head over Aiken. Huge win for the Seahawks. We have made an overture to Carson Haynes. We'll see if he even sees the message. But May River 41-6 over Lake City. Tim told us about it just a while ago. Not sure if it's final yet, but Savannah Country Day was leading Bluffton 38-16 in the fourth. I am still efforting a Carleton County Lower Richland score. At last report, there were 5 minutes left, and it was 27-0 Keenan over Battery Creek. So that one was nearing final score. Hampton 14-7 over Silver Bluff. A little bit of a slobber knocker. Whale Branch beats Ridgeland 35-12. And at last report, East Clarendon up 28-7 on Hardyville in the fourth. Over on the Skeeza side, Bethesda Academy with a 12-3 win over JP2. It was 3-0 Golden Warriors at halftime. and then a couple of big plays, an interception near the goal line, just some bad bounces down the stretch, and it got away from them. Over on Ladies Island, it was a wild one, 25-23. BA over Patrick Henry. If you missed it, we talked with Nick Schuford after the game. Max and Wes brought us all the way home on that one with live coverage on site. That was amazing. Thomas Hayward, 39-0 over Orangeburg Prep, and Cathedral at last report leading Cross 44-8 at halftime. So just a couple scores outstanding, but definitely got a lot of interesting results with the weather, odd weather. And there were definitely some games that you kind of go, oh, even if it went the way you thought it would go as far as who won, it was kind of didn't go the way you thought it would go as far as how it went, how it happened. So just kind of one of those odd nights, and it looks like Marcus is jumping back in with us here. There we go. Better?
There we go. Marcus, you got us, man?
You there, Marcus?
Yes.
We good to go?
Oh.
All right.
I currently have you guys on my phone, but I'm working with the laptop too. I wanted to make sure that I had you guys handy on the phone so I could
here we go.
Check in that way.
I see another guy coming into the green room here.
Oh, just got an update for Hardyville here. They fall 36-7 tonight. So tough loss for Hardyville High School.
Yeah, it is. It is, but it isn't.
Good effort. It's good effort by Hardyville. I mean, 14-7.
Yeah,
that's really strong for them against what is a usually solid East Clarendon team.
Well, it's a top 10 team, and I think it largely depends, how it got away from them. But I hope they didn't quit. As long as they didn't quit, as long as they kept playing hard to the end, I think it's kind of an encouraging.
Yeah.
Not outcome necessarily when you look at the end result, but the way it happened, 14-7 at half on the road against a top 10 team, hanging in there, and then it just gets away from you late. That's a little different than never in it and you get beat 36-7. So, I think it's something to build off of. Now, they got a tough task next week because them Hilton Head Seahawks are coming over to Hurricane Valley. To the fallout shelter, as the boys call it.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty rough and tumble defense. I think Hardyville's defense is pretty solid, but they're going to have their hands full with that stable of running backs. Now Walters seems like gives them kind of a multi-dimensional thing, and we didn't do ourselves any favors with our schedule for the first year of varsity football, kind of scheduled up, but hopefully it'll pay dividends when we get to region play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they put up a good effort that first half. It was very, I saw that score at halftime and I was like, wow, okay, they're fighting in this one, and I think I think it kind of got away from them. So I think Hardyville's in good. I think they're in okay shape. I think they're faring off a lot better than I expected them to this season. It's not going to be an easy road. Obviously, you got Hilton Head up next, so it's just I'm intrigued to see how they fare in region play because they've had some moments where it's been really good efforts by Hardyville. So I'm intrigued to see how the rest of their season goes. But going into this Hilton Head game, they very well may have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I mean, Hilton Head's defense has looked pretty legit. They've, even against James Island, they hung right in there. Oh, here we go. Lower Richland. Oh, I guess I should do the sound.
Come on.
There it is. Lower Richland with the 46-20 win over Colleton County. So there's your final there, and that almost brings them all home. So we expected them to lose that game if we were betting, but again, that kind of depends how it happens. 46-20, you like that you put up 20. You hope it wasn't 46-0 when you scored 20 against the JV defense, because that kind of matters. But let's see if the Lower Richland. All we got is the final score. No running. So can't tell much from that. Have to wait until we see the box score.
Yeah, unfortunately for Colleton County, the season doesn't get much easier for them. So I'm hoping they can. I'm hoping they can improve on the year, but it's a tough way to start out the season.
Yeah, they definitely got.
And we've got a final from Savannah, and it didn't get better for Bluffton. It got worse. 44-16 in the final in favor of Savannah Country Day. I was gonna blast it back at me from somebody. That was funny. Tough. I don't know what to make of that.
That's surprising for me. I think. I know. Savannah Country Day came into this game 0-3, but the teams they played weren't easy. Let's just put it that way.
No. Well, I just didn't know that much about any of them other than Porter Gowd, so it was hard to.
I should have called Kenny Conroy to see if I could get his idea of what the team was going to look like before we went into this game, because he would have had an idea, and I, for some reason, still have Kenny's phone number. But I
who doesn't have Kenny Conroy's phone number at this point?
Yeah, that's very true. For Bluffton, this is very shocking to me. I thought this Savannah Country Day was going to be able to hang in. I thought it was going to be close, but I didn't expect them to absolutely obliterate Bluffton. I just was not seeing this one coming. I don't think anyone saw this one coming. Especially when we made our picks last night, we thought, Bluffton's got too much talent, but I don't know. I don't know what to think about this game. And it's, and now I'm looking towards their next game, and their next game is not any easier because you have to play Hampton County at home. So Bluffton's got some work to do. They got to figure out what mistakes they made in this game as they head into Hampton County, because when it comes to Hampton County, mistakes are going to be your greatest enemy against this team.
Mistakes are definitely your greatest enemy. But it definitely kind of changes the complexion on that one. Because I was kind of thinking maybe Bluffton had the horses to beat Hampton County, and now I'm questioning that. But they're also going to come back mad. Certainly would affect Bluffton's offense. You would think. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to hear more about that. But Hampton coming to Bluffton, that's going to be fun, man. That's going to be
it's going to be great.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be real good.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Was there anything? Sorry, go ahead, Marcus.
Thanks, Max. Was there anything that you guys missed in my Hilton Head analysis while the Gremlins were over top?
Oh yeah,
set up here.
I don't know. It was just kind of choppy, so I was getting it, but I don't know how much other people were getting in between the chops. But it sounded like Zarnecki was really kind of carrying the load. Beaston on the ground. You loved Walters at quarterback. We like him. I got most of it. I just didn't want you to keep chopping through it. But I guess offensive line must have looked awfully good too if they're doing that much damage on the ground.
They really did, and the defense on 7, of course, look. They attacked.
Well, now I'm losing you again.
You won't leave him alone.
Shoot.
That's frustrating. Ooh.
Those gremlins are all
Yeah.
over Marcus tonight. We'll have to
Yeah.
find out what internet provider he has and make sure they're not the official provider of Lowco Sports and target the other one, whoever it is. But yeah, not working out great for
hopefully,
Marcus tonight.
yeah. Hopefully we can get Marcus back on. But going back to that, Hampton Bluffton game coming up next Friday, I'm excited for it. But I need to look at that game against Savannah Country Day for Bluffton and see, what exactly went wrong for them because, I now have a couple questions, when it came to that game. I don't know if Savannah Country Day was just, a better team overall. I assume that's what it was, but, I just don't know. And, this is why I think I was a little shocked by what the final score was. But going into this game against Hampton County, it's two high-powered offenses that are going to, I feel, duel out. But, I think if you're Bluffton, you want to, focus on what mistakes you made. And, as you head towards Friday, fix those mistakes, be ready to go because, you don't want to mess up against this Hampton County team. So I think it's going to be a great game. I think I'm going to go to that one. I don't know why I wouldn't because I've had a lot of kids from Bluffton High School ask me to go to a game this year, and I feel like this would be the game to do it. So I think that's one of those games that I booked on the calendar before the football season started and said, yeah, that's a game everybody's going to want to go to because that will definitely absolutely be the game of the week next Friday, I think. And the one everyone's going to keep an eye on.
Well, how about this? I have a surprise final score because we didn't even have it on our schedule. Now it's about to be because as soon as I get the sound to play, I'll tell you about a win for a Lowco squad that we did not know was playing tonight. And there it is. Colleton Prep 25, Andrew Jackson Academy 8. Yeah, I didn't even know that was on the schedule. That must have been a late addition.
That's a nice bounce back win.
I know there was some movement down to 8-man that messed some things up, but that's a good win for them. Defense back on.
Yeah, from that.
Andrew Jackson struggling this year.
Yeah, I'm hoping that means Colleton Prep got some of their starters back tonight. Which, if that's the case, that's a very good sign for Colleton Prep. Hopefully, it can help them be able to compete as the season continues. One score I haven't heard yet. I don't know if you've already mentioned it, but the Bethesda JP2 score.
Yeah. So the final was 12-3 Bethesda. It was 3-0 JP2 at halftime, and then Luis Sanders was providing us with updates on that one tonight. Great updates, and they were in it the whole game. All right, here we go. So it was 3-0. Blazers punched it in from the 2 to finish off a 60-yard drive. It was 6-3 with 9:15 left in the third, and then into the third, still 6-3. An interception by Bethesda on the 1-yard line, so right at the goal line, basically. And then a 90-yard touchdown run a couple of plays later to make it 12-3. And then Warriors were trying to drive and threw another pick on 4th and 20. So that kind of iced it.
Yeah.
But, again, JP2, they're that team that's just battling. And you're just waiting for them to break through. And the schedule's not easy, but you do feel like if they can just get over that hump, they might be able to go downhill for a little while and win a football. Right there.
Agree.
They're knocking on the door. Defense played really well tonight.
Defense played well. Offense, I still have questions about because I'm just waiting for them to get over that hump and score. And I just, And this is why I chose Bethesda, because I still had questions about the offense for JP2. I think, I just still wasn't fully sold on them, and I still, as of right now, I'm not fully sold yet. But that defense, I'm definitely sold on, because they've had a couple games this season where they have really fought hard and made it a low scoring game, and I think that's a good sign for JP2. But I think as you head into the next game, which I believe is Hilton Head Christian Academy, they're
Yeah,
going to need to
it
figure
is.
out. They're going to need to figure out that offense, because if they don't, I feel like Christian Academy will wear down that JP2 defense, and pull away as the game moves towards an end. So I think it's a good sign for JP2 on defense. I think on offense, they're definitely going to need to figure some things out as they head to next Friday.
Right on. Sorry, trying to track down other stuff and respond to messages. Only score we don't have a final on is the cross game, but it was pretty not in doubt at halftime. So I think we can safely say how that one turned out. I am going to check the Skiza scoreboard Facebook page, though. It is a wealth of information for Skiza athletics. Let's see. Jeff Davis, 66-0 over Conway. I'm telling you, that Conway cross game, that's gonna be the battle.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the battle.
Yeah.
Man, there's all kind of volleyball scores on here. I'm trying to find football scores. I don't see nothing on the cross game yet.
I'm waiting for that first win, man. Waiting for that first win from Cross.
Conway Christian. That's the one you got to circle on your calendar.
I know.
Oh, there it is. There's the final. 58-6, the final. So, another tough one.
Yeah, it's.
So I guess, or 58-8. I'm sorry, 58-8. I shortchanged them 2 points. So they, they more than doubled their scoring total for the season tonight. So good on them there.
Yeah.
Up next for Cross at Holly Hill, and then they get Conway Christian at home on the 20th. That is the day. That's the day. That's the day that they need to get her done. Holly Hill handling the Kings Academy, which handled Cross last week. So it could be a tough one next week for Cross as well. But all right, so that rounds out our final scores, and we will present them by our varsity sponsors: DDS Web Design, building, hosting, maintaining websites for businesses and nonprofits to get results. DDSHHI.com. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties, and helps us continue to expand our coverage out there and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. Dr. Ambrose Cole's our official chiropractor. He's at Root Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. And Reverence Wrestling Club's our official wrestling sponsor and the best wrestling club in Bluffton. You can take your skills on the mat to the next level at Reverence Wrestling Club, presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. So final scores, we've got them all now. They've all been rounded up. Timmy, you need out?
I'm good for now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we're all set.
Just trying to respect it. Final scores on the high school league side: Philip Simmons 31-20 over Buford. Again, a bunch of names we didn't really recognize in the game late for Buford. Samari Buns leaving in the first half, so Buford's 0-3, and we'll see where it goes from here. But we've seen it before, and we know that they don't quit on a season, so they'll keep playing. Hilton had 45-0 over Aiken. Marcus Walsh told us what he could about it before the Gremlins got to him, but an impressive effort from the Seahawks tonight. They're 2-1. May River 41-6 over Lake City. You were there, Tim.
Yep.
Told us about a really impressive rushing attack from the Sharks. They'd be swarming in the tank, and they are 3-0 and probably moving up in the rankings. Savannah Country Day shocks Bluffton 44-16. That is just a stunner. Colleton County losing 46-20 tonight to Lower Richland. So the Cougars are 0-3. Bluffton, by the way, 2-1. Keenan 26-0 over Battery Creek. So the Dolphins can't get the win streak going. They're 1-2. Hampton County 14-7 over Silver Bluff. Number one team in 2A stays unbeaten. Whale Branch rolls 35-12 over Ridgeland in their home opener. They're 2-1. Ridgeland 1-2. And East Clarendon 36-7 over Hardyville. Canes dropped to 1-2, and they've got Hilton Head at home next week. And then on the Skeeza side, Bethesda 12-3 over JP2. Golden Warriors 0-4. Bethesda gets their first win. BA 25-23 in a Donnybrook over Patrick Henry. Huge region win. They're 3-1. Patrick Henry 2-1. Thomas Hayward 39-0 over Orangeburg Prep. Dominant game from Tony O'Banner, Nick Robinson, and that THA defense with a bunch of junkyard dogs. They're undefeated. Colleton Prep 25-8 over Andrew Jackson Academy, and Cathedral Academy 58-8. So there's your final scores, boys. What stands out the most to you guys? I mean, we've obviously talked about the Bluffton thing. I think that stands out big time. And we've talked about Hilton Head and May River at some length. But some of the other games, anything jump out at you?
I'm going with the Hilton Head performance tonight. After I saw them last week, I did not know they had that in them
Right.
tonight. I mean, they've got maybe 23 healthy guys on the roster right now. So it makes sense that they kind of slowed down into that second half. But yeah, I mean, from the way Marcus was talking about him, it seemed
got some
like a whole
guys.
different team than I watched. But it seems that one kid
Yeah, well, I
named
mean, they were playing a whole
quarterback.
different team for sure.
Yeah,
James Island plays fast.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
They're
Walter's,
fast and they're big.
second start was probably better than the first.
Yeah, he
But
looked
yeah,
good in
the
that first
offensive
start. It's
line's
just
pretty good.
the offense couldn't start. Yeah, it was the line in the first start for him too. He had the reads, he had the options. It's just he didn't have enough time in the pocket to get anything going. But it seems
Yeah.
like they got it to click tonight. So yeah,
Yeah, I
kudos to
think
them.
James Island's defensive front's pretty legit. So,
Yeah, they were really
I
good.
think when the game slowed down this week, he was able to be pretty effective.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Marcus still hanging out in there or not?
Yeah, it says
Yeah,
he's in
he's
there.
still hanging out in there.
Yep.
You want back in?
Yeah,
You want back in? Let's get him back in. Let's see how it's going.
if it works.
Can you hear me
How's
now?
it going?
Can you see me now?
How are the Gremlins? We can hear you and
I'm
see you.
I'm hoping that they are, across the street
At
by
bay?
now. Well,
The Gremlins
we'll
are
see.
at bay.
Yeah, I was
For now.
obviously very impressed with what I saw out of Hilton Head today. For sure, they look to, if they could just build off this, of course, with the fact that 2 of their first 3 games have been blowout wins, and they've looked pretty dang good doing it. They'll have a chance to compete against teams like Bluffton and May River. Very surprised with what I heard about what happened to Bluffton and May River, obviously, with a huge win. I plan on seeing Goose Creek at Beaufort next week because I obviously will be back in 2 weeks to see Beaufort against Battery Creek. Was there anything in the Beaufort game, other than obviously Samari going down, that is of huge note?
That's a good question. I know that the kicking game's kind of a mess right now. I know Will Cotting was punting tonight, which is probably not ideal. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's a weird deal right now because they've just played such good competition that it's hard to know. And then especially when you mix in the fact that Samari got hurt tonight, it's just hard to get a good read on what it means in context. But let's see. Man, there's so many tweets, bro. Iron Horses scored on their first drive, then Buford fumbled. Philip Simmons scored on the second touch on offense. Isaac Small's 70-yard touchdown run was called back on a holding. So, had a chance to get back in it. And then they get a stop on 3rd and 6, and they throw a touchdown pass. So it's 21-0 in 7 minutes in.
Yeah, that's tough.
Buford comes back and scores. Xavier Tobias was a touchdown. That's a new name for me. Fun one too, by the way. That's a great name, Xavier Tobias.
I think that name
Conjures
does ring a bell with me. I think I remember him from
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
conjures images of Arrested Development, Tobias Funke. And then Eagles got one back. It was 24-12 at halftime. Samari was out. Wait, hold on. No, Samari. What had happened? Oh, wait, before that, yeah, Samari hit Caleb Steffen for a touchdown. Then Samari ended up getting hurt, but it was 24-12 at halftime. And then, sorry, there's several threads here, so I'm trying to follow. I appreciate the live tweeter, by the way. Appreciate you. You're amazing. But it's hard to recreate sometimes. Yeah, Samari was out for the rest of the game, and then Philip Simmons scored first drive quickly. Anthony Kaler went in at quarterback. Buford held him, blocked a punt to get it back. But it was still 31-12 after 3. And then Buford threw a pick. Have to try to throw. Cotting lit up the QB for a fumble. And then Kaler hit Kwalik Isnar for a 29-yard touchdown. Javion Falls with the extra 2-point run. And then they recovered a onside kick. It was 31-20 at that point, but then they threw a pick. So, again, there's two opportunities there where if Samari Bonds is in the game and you drive down and score a touchdown, you're in it. And he wasn't, and they threw interceptions. So, it's just hard to really make too much of that, especially if he's not going to be out long term. If he's going to be back next week,
Right.
then, it is what it is. They're 0-3, but
Yeah.
you want to play them?
Yeah.
Do you want to play them next week? Like, no. So I think they'll be fine. But I do, we do have to see more about Samari. I gotta grab my beverage.
I think that game for me was mistakes that Buford made. Apart from the injury to Samari, I think early in that game, Buford made mistakes, and they had chances, but they just weren't able to capitalize. So looking at this game, I just feel like Buford didn't play the part very well. And it's frustrating, but also I think Buford's learning from this, and I think in my mind I still think they're the favorites in that Region 6 at the 4A level. I still think they're the favorites, but I just
I'm wavering a little bit now. I'm wavering on that.
I
think I got to say May Rivers the favorite
I still think for me they're the favorites, but that gap that we talked about that had closed, I think is closed even more, and I think you're now 100% in a 3-team race between Buford, Bluffton, and May River. I think it's clearly obvious that Buford struggled a little bit, but I also think if they can stay healthy, I still think that while that gap's small between them and Bluffton and May River, I still think I still think they're my favorites right now, but
I hear you.
We'll see what happens. I think for me it will just that game against Goose Creek. I'm interested to see how that goes, and if if they do play well and they get the win, then I think my hope and faith is restored in Buford if they're able to win that game.
Looking forward to it next week.
Yeah, Marcus will be moonlighting for us at that one next week, so we look forward to his report on that. To maybe put what you're saying a different way, and maybe it's not quite the same thing, but I feel like Buford still maybe has the highest ceiling. Like there's still the most potential there, but they haven't realized it yet. Whereas May River is right now rolling, rolling. So
and I honestly don't think May River's hit their ceiling yet. I really don't. I think they haven't even scratched the ceiling yet. Like they haven't.
That's scary.
Well, and
and that's
Yeah,
really
they got
scary if you're Bluffton and Buford.
Yeah,
they still
and
got a
if they
ways to
keep
go before they're at
spreading
top
it the
4.
way they are, they're all going to be fresh down the
Yep.
stretch. So I like what they're doing a lot. It's got my attention for sure.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Mhm.
they'll be on
it's
my
got
ballot
everyone's
this week.
attention.
I got to
The
go with my
other
Chargers. Talk amongst yourselves.
the other matchup that really caught my eye in watching what you guys were doing before I got home from Hilton Head was that game that you were at, Max, and I know Wes was there, and I think JJ was there for a little while. Max, talk a little bit more about that matchup that you
Yeah,
had between Patrick Henry and Buford
yeah.
Academy. Good grief. Awesome.
Well,
Indeed, that was a fun game, and I
Gremlins
actually
might be
have some
getting it.
highlights. I have some highlights that Wes shot queued up here from the first half of this game. Here's Nick Underwood putting them in the spin cycle. Ooh, ooh, too real.
Good grief.
That is a man right there. That is a man.
Ooh,
He's a dog,
yeah,
straight up.
yeah. Oh
There
yeah,
goes again. There
yeah.
goes that man.
I got there I got to that game right towards the end of it. So the game was it was very interesting for the few minutes that I was there because PHA made it a 2-point game, and then it got real
Who's
interesting
that
there.
man?
And they
Nick
go for
Underwood.
the onside kick. But
All right, we're gonna bid
I
adieu to Tim Alonso. We appreciate you, man, and
Have
great
a good
job
one.
covering the Sharks tonight. We'll talk to you real soon.
Sounds good.
Have a good
See
night,
you,
Tim.
buddy. They're the Patriots striking back, trying to get back in it. But BA and that man, that's Nick Underwood, I believe, getting to the pylon. There it is. There's Nick Shuford, number 2, little Nick Shuford Jr. with the celly. He's an emotional guy out there. I love it. He was hyped up tonight, but huge win for BA. I was really impressed with both teams, really, with the way they fought.
yeah
Patrick Henry was a little sloppy when I was there in the first half. They had a couple fumbles on, just bad exchanges. Obviously, it's wet, but I think any coach would say, so what? It's wet for the other team too.
Right.
You play the
yeah
conditions that you dealt, and you got to be able to handle it. So, they set themselves up in bad spots a couple times. There were also a couple of calls that were a little perplexing. Stricklander mentioned one, and he's usually not one to say it if it's not there. A block in the back on a touchdown that was missed. I saw a safety that looked like an inadvertent whistle, but was ruled a safety, so just some kind of kooky stuff that happens, and then it ends up
yeah
a 2-point game, and you go, huh, that safety was interesting.
yeah
Um, but it is what it is. At the end of the game, everybody, each team has 2 or 3 plays that they go, what the heck was going on there? I mean, Nick Shuford was about to have a stroke because they weren't calling penalties that they should or shouldn't have called.
right
So like I ain't saying the referees wanted for BA. I'm saying there were some pivotal plays that were like, huh, what happened there? And there may have been some that went in PHA's favor in the second half, for all I know. But it was that kind of game where it comes down to a handful of plays. And that Grady Lamb play, I can't say enough about this play. Like, we don't have it on video because it didn't look like it was going to be a key play or anything. It's just an ordinary punt, and the snap looked like it was going 3 feet over his head, and it was going to be at best for BA a safety and at worst a touchdown. And this
yeah
man went up in the air, took an angle like a center fielder, man. He took an angle and he went up and got that thing, and then somehow got off a kick. And I'm telling you, he must have caught it at like the 15 or 20-yard line, and he kicked it
Wow.
into the end zone, like burned the punt returner, and it rolled end over end all the way to the end zone. It was
Dang.
unbelievable, and it changed the game because it was 8-0 at that time. And if Patrick Henry falls on that thing in the end zone, it's tied up and they're getting the ball back in good field position. And instead, it's still 8-0. They flip the field to get the ball back and they score. So, it was,
Yeah.
or it might have been 8-8 at that point even. Um, so, it's huge, huge play that doesn't show up. It looks like a great punt in the box score, but it was also a touchdown saving play on top of that. So, and then he makes the game winning field goal at the end that
Yeah.
ended up being the difference. So, how long was that field goal? Pretty healthy, right?
Yeah, it was a healthy one. It wasn't like super long, but it was a healthy
Yeah.
distance.
Coach
To
Buford said he hits
put
52
it,
consistently in practice, so he's got a good leg.
Wow.
that
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise
Yeah.
me because he hit when that next kickoff after that field goal. I was like, wow, this kid's got a boot. All right, well, yeah. So like hearing that, yeah, that doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean he's a
You
soccer player who is also a football player and has worked at it for years. Like he's
yeah,
a
right,
full, a
exactly.
committed kicker. It's just that he also goes to BA, so he's also like a linebacker and a tight end and everything else because you got like 23 dudes or whatever. I don't know how
Yeah,
many they
right.
have, but you don't have that many. So he gets to do it all, and he came up with some big plays on D too. Kind of an
Yeah,
unsung hero type night from
yeah,
Grady Lamb. But Nick Underwood was the sung hero. He
yeah,
was
Makes sense.
absolutely.
hitting some grown
Michael,
man runs.
I'll give
Can't
credit
wait to
to
see that
Michael
young.
Tucker Mathis. Yeah, I'll give credit to Michael
Yeah,
Tucker Mathis. He kept
tough.
PHA in that game. He did absolutely fantastic keeping them in that game, along with the rest of PHA. So what a really good game. I'm kind of disappointed I missed most of that game, but I got to go over to Whale Branch for the first time and experience what that Whale Branch atmosphere is about. Despite the weather and everything.
It's fun, isn't
And
it?
yeah, it's great. I do want to talk a little bit about Whale Branch because I found it it
Yeah,
was a very interesting first half for them. Their first three scores were non-offensive scores. So a kickoff return
yeah,
on the very first play of the game. Then you get your second score on a punt fumble by Richland, and you pick up the ball, you run it in for a score. Then, 14-0 going into the second half, and literally on the first play, a kickoff to Richland. Richland fumbles the ball, and you pick up the ball, and you score for 21 points. And at that point, I just knew, like, I think, Whale Branch has this in the bag. But I was very shocked that the fact that Whale Branch couldn't get their running game going in the first half. Richland was able to keep Whale Branch at bay with their running game, which is key for Whale Branch to win games. That running game is a lot of what Whale Branch's offense is. So
yeah,
I was very intrigued by that. I was expecting a much. I'll put it this way: I thought Whale Branch should have won by more than what that score
yeah.
was. I honestly do. I think. I didn't get to talk with Coach Hatcher, but I think he was probably thinking, well, what's going on with this running game? What are we missing here? I think they were able to figure it out in the second half, but they should have been able to. I think there were too many opportunities in that first half for Whale Branch to pull away quickly, and they just didn't. So I think that they're going to have to work on that, this next week and try to, figure out how to, get that running game going. Because I think that first half, for me, I think Whale Branch just was not the team we all saw at Ardenville. They weren't that same team for me.
Right.
Gotcha.
They got the win, but they just weren't that,
Didn't
that
have that
extremely
fire.
angry. Yeah, that
Yeah,
extremely angry, pissed off, Whale Branch team.
yeah, yeah.
The
I know
other
exactly what you're talking about.
the other team and result that I had obviously circled because of the fact that I'm going to see them again in a couple of weeks was Battery Creek. And I'll be honest, me taking Creek over Keenan was purely a homer pick.
Yeah, I got caught up
with
in it too, didn't I?
with that.
Yeah, me too.
Did I?
Any details from that
I
game?
got
I
caught up in
saw
that
just
too.
on the ticker there that they got shut out
No,
26-0.
just 26-0. That's all we know.
Okay.
Yeah, they just
Yeah, I think
they just couldn't get
I
it.
think it was
Get it
14
done.
nothing at halftime. So, they were in it. They were in it, just couldn't score. Um, by the way, Whale Branch home against Woodland next week. That's a fun little matchup.
Ooh.
Yeah,
It
that's
is.
interesting.
Cross region 2A matchup. That's a good one. And then they have Philip Simmons the week after that, and another good little cross regional 2A matchup. Philip Simmons
Yeah.
beating
Yeah.
Buford tonight. So, and then they get into region, and it gets a lot better for them. Well, they have Battery Creek too, at Creek, which is always a battle. Then they'll have Edisto and Lake Marion, a couple of should be wins, but then they get Hampton and Barnwell. So really tough schedule for Whale Branch. They're gonna have to bring it out every week to
Yeah.
keep getting
Yeah.
dub.
They're going to
Jonathan
need to
Kelly,
show
by
up.
the way, that opening touchdown on the kickoff return by Jonathan the Jet Kelly,
Yes.
who has been a guest on the show for his track exploits, and great to see him getting a chance to make an impact on the football field too. That dude can fly. So when you said it was number 6, I'm like, wait, I think that's a Jet. So I
Yeah.
looked up and made sure. But yeah, Jet Kelly with the touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm
He
sure
booked it.
he'll
He
have that
booked it.
highlight. Did he?
Yeah.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say
He
he'll have
booked
it
it
up
down the field.
in no time. Oh, he booked it. He'll have that highlight up in
Speaking,
the morning. I guarantee you.
But
He
like
does a
when I
great
say
job of
he
that.
booked it, I mean he was gone. Like
Well, yeah, that's like
he
a
got through. He
All-American 110-meter hurdler.
yeah.
That dude can
That
fly.
dude was gone. The moment he got through a couple Wisdom players, I was like, oh yeah, no, he's definitely gone. And he just was. Yeah, it was quite impressive to watch.
Right on, man. Oh man, I'm getting tired, boys. Been a long day in Mr.
Oh yeah.
Jarrett's world. So one more time, we'll go through the scores, then we'll read our last batch of sponsors, and then we'll pick our most impressive players of the night, our MVPs tonight. The Loco scoreboard: Philip Simmons 31-20 over Buford, Hilton Head 45-0 over Aiken, 41-6 May River over Lake City, Savannah Country Day stuns Bluffton 44-16, Lower Richland 46-20 over Colleton, Keenan 26-0 over Battery Creek, Hampton County 14-7 over Silver Bluff. No scoring in the second half on that one. 35 Whale Branch, Ridgeland 12, East Clarendon 36, Hardyville 7, and in Skeeza, Bethesda 12, JP2 3, BA 25, Patrick Henry 23. Rewatch the show to hear from Nick Schuford and see the highlights from that one. Thomas Hayward 39-0 over Orangeburg Prep. Told y'all, boys. Carlton Prep 25, Andrew Jackson 8, and Cathedral 58, excuse me, Cross 8, the final in that one. So those are all your finals. Our Loco Booster Club supports us, so please support them if you can. Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court, your friends and mine, Marcus. They're with Charter One Realty. They want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. It's good life. Eagle Creations has promotional items and custom apparel, including your Loco swag. You can go check them
there
out
you
on
go.
Arkham Boulevard. Jay's Barber Shop is the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Go see my friend Jay and his great barbers for some great conversation and come out looking stylish. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Call on my guy Chris Odom if you got gross, sticky floors. He'll get them so clean your feet will thank you. Hudson's Seafood House on the docks. Get it Andrews Way if you want a real treat, but enjoy the sunsets and the cocktails over at Hudson's, a Hilton Head Island staple and presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. And
The Hush
Hurricane
Puppies
Sports
too.
Cafe. Oh yeah, the Hush Puppies are banging.
Oh
And
man.
Hurricanes, and they got that slaw too. That slaw
Oh
is real good.
yeah. That's
Hurricane
it's
Don't
Sports
make me
so good.
Cafe.
hungry, man.
I know you're gonna get hungrier because Hurricane Sports Cafe out in Hampton, they got real good food out there too. They got hurricane burgers and wings and bird dogs and all kinds of good stuff. And Patrick Mitchell, who fed me tonight at Buford Academy, told me he stopped in Hurricanes the other day because he was out that way and he'd heard about them on the show. And he said, "Dang, that food is really good, ain't it?" And I said, "It sure is." So we got another convert to Hurricane Sports Cafe. We appreciate those guys out there, and they're having a good time out there. Hampton's rolling. Patrick Henry's looking tough as well, so they like their football on Hampton County. All right, boys, it's time to name our MVPs tonight. Marcus, I'll give you the first shot since you're the guest. Who was the MVP for you this evening?
Well, I could pick a couple for Hilton Head, certainly, but I got to go with Thaddeus Zarnecki. That guy was just absolutely on fire. I remember him having some big runs in games of Hilton Head's that I called last year but he looked like on a whole different level. I mean, he looked, as I mentioned earlier too, he looked Troy Timko good. He's taken it to another level, I think, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him a couple more times this year. He just has a great burst of speed. He's got some good hands, but he can just see down the field and make those sudden moves when he has to. He was on another level with the cuts and the hands as well.
Yeah,
But
he's got
great
shifty
protector of
hips.
football.
He's got really shifty hips. He's able to keep his feet moving forward and shift his hips and make cuts and sees the holes well, like you said. I've been impressed with him since he was, first came up. I'm interested to see if it's going to continue to be kind of him carrying the bulk of the load, or if Timko is going to get in the mix a little bit more going forward. So, but they got a nice little 1-2 punch there. And the ability to split time and keep them healthy, like we mentioned with May River, is really important, especially for a team as thin as they are. So Zarnecki definitely emerging as a player to watch. And Hilton Head, our friend Coach Beach, also shouted out. She said Carson Haynes had a really good game tonight. I efforted him, but he's got a lot of family in town, and said he appreciated us, but he couldn't come on tonight. And also she shouted out Caleb Spangler on the other side of the ball. Is that right, Caleb Spangler?
Yeah, and I didn't mention him, but Caleb played really well on defense as well. It was an all-around effort, but yeah, those guys certainly pitched in and played very well also.
Here's an update from Hardyville. Highlight of the night from Coach Rayleigh. Saw Brett Gardner, my friend, my buddy Brett Gardner, at Starbucks in Santee. Gotta love it. Pinewood Prep must have played up that way tonight, because Gardy's on the staff with Pinewood Prep, so coaching everything, I think. But Max, who's your MVP tonight, buddy?
I think I'm gonna go with Nick Underwood. I think he led that BA team to a very, very impressive win. What a Donnybrook that was. And I think Nick Underwood was that unsung hero for Beaver Academy tonight, and I think he keeps putting in the work, putting in the effort, and it's really showing now. After what was a really good win over a very, very tough PHA team to play. So I'm going to give it to him because he outside of anyone else across the Lowco, I think he was my favorite player for tonight.
Yeah. I don't know. Rayleigh just said he was going to tell.
It's either
Gardy
it's either Nick Underwood or it's Nick Robinson, which I just.
Oh yeah, you was cheating. You was cheating. You already said Nick Underwood, man. Stop trying to steal my picks.
What?
Stop trying to take my picks. You already said Nick Underwood.
Yeah, I'll go Nick Underwood. That's fine.
Nick Underwood was the guy I saw in person. Grady Lamb was the low key MVP that I saw in person with some big plays. But yeah, Nick Robinson, our guy Jay Alfonso from Jay's Barbershop, checking in. 4 TDs, go Rebels, baby. Yeah, I mean he kind of operates in the shadow of Tony O'Banner, but you better not forget about him. He's dangerous. He's been playing varsity football since he was a baby, it seems like. Every year I'm like, wait, those kids aren't even seniors yet. So
yeah, I mean he's
tough.
Up on Colorado. Yeah.
But I'll also give a shout out to May River offensive line. How about them boys?
Oh yeah.
They're doing work. Bo Glenn and them.
Yeah.
William Bonneville, Nathan Vu, Sean McNulty.
Big fellas.
I'm missing one.
I'm missing
one, and it's killing me. Who am I missing? Gosh dang it. I got 4 of them off the top of my head, though. That's pretty good. Right?
That is good.
I mean, I'm 46 years old.
Hilton Head and Bluffton.
I'll get it here once I scroll through the roster. So Bogwin, William Bonneville, Sean Zadroga McNulty, Nathan Vu, and Caleb Oko. That's the other one. He's a big old hammer. So yeah, they got a good little offensive line, man. They're a little undersized in spots, but they like that. They like linemen who can get out and move and pull and get upfield and hold a block. So they got, you and I saw it at media day, Marcus. They have the kind of team they like,
Yes.
and you could see that. Like they
Been a
look, the
few
culture,
years.
the vibes were good, and it looks like it's paying off for them. So
No
I
doubt.
think May River looks like, for me, the team to beat in that region right now.
I
I'm
completely
not
agree.
counting Buford out by
Yeah.
any means, but I think the turntables have turned.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Buford needs a win next week against Goose Creek in a
Yes, they
Yeah,
bad,
do.
bad way.
Yeah, they
just need some good
100%.
feelings. You just don't
Yes.
want to
Yeah.
be 1-4 or 0-5 going into region.
Right.
And need some good feelings. I hope Samari's good. I hope
Me
Samari's
too.
good to go. That's key.
Yeah.
That
Hate to
team
see.
operates on a completely different level when he's in there.
Yeah, yeah, he's electric. He's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Creek, I think's in that region. They only got to win one to get in the playoffs, and I think they can win two or maybe even possibly three. Um, Two, probably two. But let's start with one. But I think they might be able to pick off North Charleston and OW, and sneak into the playoffs, and that would be huge for them. Just to
No
get
doubt.
another game, another week of practice, all that stuff would be big.
Yeah.
Hampton's sitting pretty in 2A. Whale Branch also, even if they finish third in that region, they're going to be a problem in the playoffs. 1A, Hardyville and Ridgeland, one of them's going to make the playoffs at least, and maybe both if they both beat Allendale. And that matchup is going to be a blast because they
Oh,
seem to be
yeah.
very evenly matched, and they were
Oh,
teammates
yeah.
last year, some of them, and they don't like each other very much, because two schools in one district, and that's just how it be. And that was going to be fun. Ben Riley Classic is what it's dubbed, bringing that back for the first time since 2012, and named for a former Jasper County sheriff who was killed in duty. And I remember attending a couple of those, and you never been to a better atmosphere for a high school football game than those games. So it'll be fun. Looking forward to that one. And then Skeezer ranks, HHCA was off tonight. They still kind of look like the class around here, I think. JP2's in that weird spot where you're competitive every week, but you just can't get
Yeah.
over the hump. BA established itself as kind of the challenger to Thomas Hayward, I think. Although I wouldn't count Patrick Henry out of that fight, nor Carlton Prep. Some weird things could still happen in that region with that four-way round robin. We could end up with a
Yeah.
bunch of teams tied and going to tiebreakers, and Skiza has some wild point-based tiebreakers. So it could get weird. And then Cross is having a tough year. Hilton Head Prep, they're off again this week, a couple weeks off. Excited to see them get back after it next week.
Who do they have next week?
That's a good question. I'm wanting to say maybe
Yeah.
Bethesda.
Yeah.
I'd
I
be
think it's,
correct. Bethesda
yeah.
on the road. So,
Oh,
that's an interesting game with the way
Yeah.
JP2 played Bethesda close tonight. I think that looks like a game that Prep goes, hey, we can compete in this game, and if we are competitive, then let's see what happens in the fourth quarter. They've had 2 weeks of basically training camp since they got that W. I'm excited to see what they come out with because I think they may surprise.
I
I'm
agree.
already inclined to put my faith in Doug McFadden and crew on Friday night. So Bethesda people are going to think I just hate them. I pick against them every week. I don't. I don't. I don't. I respect y'all muchly. I hear about the 400 pounders on the line. I hear how they fight to the end every single game. I'm aware that y'all got some boys, but I love my Lowco boys. But I think we've done enough damage tonight, boys. Any closing thoughts before we call it a night?
Just another fun Friday night. And as my buddy and broadcast partner, Daniel Court, says, there aren't enough Friday nights. Got to
Not
enjoy them
nearly.
while they're here.
Not nearly enough. It was fun tonight. I didn't mind the rain. I didn't mind it.
No, I didn't either.
It,
I didn't either.
it was kind of pesky. I carried my little microfiber towel and dried off my gear every now and then. But it felt like football. It felt like football weather. There was a nice fog on Ladies Island. Made it feel like
Yeah.
a
Cooling
big
off a little
game.
bit.
Yeah, it was nice. I liked it. I liked it
Cue the
tonight.
cue
Felt
the
good.
classic ESPN NFL network type music with Chris
Mm-hmm.
Berman or John Facenda in the
Yeah,
background.
exactly. Dun, dun,
It's football
dun,
season.
dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun. Made myself cop doing that. But anyway, thanks to all of our sponsors, especially the OGs, Mickelson Law Firm, our all-star sponsors who have really done so much to keep this thing going over the years, and we appreciate them. And we were talking last night. We got to start a celebrity guest picker for our Thursday
Yeah.
night mega casts, and we might have to see if Ryan Mickelson wants to come on here and make some picks before a big Hilton Head Christian Academy game, maybe that Pinewood Prep game. I might have to reach out to him and see if we can set that up. That'd be fun. But anyway, boys, it was great times tonight. Thanks, Wes and Max, for outstanding reporting on site from Buford Academy. Max, you're a soldier. You always get on the drive home and talk us home. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Marcus Moonlight and Marcus Walsh from WHHI out in the Loco gear tonight reporting for us. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again next week from Buford. And
Sounds great.
thanks to everybody else who kept us in the loop and joined us tonight on the show. It was great times. If you missed us, and you're watching later, catch us live next week, 9:30 p.m. Loco Pigskin Live. We'll see you then, and we'll see you Monday night for the Loco Lowdown, Loco Sports Lowdown, 9:30 p.m. for that one as well. We'll line up some good guests. Maybe Nick Underwood. That could be a
Yeah.
possibility.
Yeah.
Maybe yeah, we'll see. Maybe Carson Haynes or BJ Payne, somebody from the
Tony
Seahawks.
O'Banner.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Antonio Banner. They practice at night, man. He's always like, "Oh, we
Oh,
got
Yeah,
to
yeah,
practice."
that's right.
that's
Yeah,
wild.
it's messing us up. But I think that's because Coach Malfris be selling insurance during the day. So
Yeah, that's true.
you got to do what you got to do. It is cooler at night. It's a lot cooler at night. It's
That's
It
true.
cool
is.
to. It's pretty cool also to practice under the lights. Like that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
man.
I'm not sure all the reasons, but that's what they do. So it's messing us up on getting them on here. But
It's
we'll
working.
make them make we'll make them make room for us one night. Surely Thursday nights they ain't going late, right? They just have a little walkthrough.
Yeah, wouldn't
Yeah,
think.
we'll
Yeah.
get them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're rolling. They're looking good. So yeah, maybe that's it. They started practicing at night. It was going good. Didn't want to
Yeah.
mess with the mojo. Got to stick with
Yeah.
the night practices. So, all right, boys. I'm exhausted, about to pass out. But it was fun talking football with y'all. It was fun being
Always.
out among the people at Buford Academy and all the people who love what we love, Loco High School Sports. So until next time, from Marcus Walsh, Max Araj, and the absent Tim Alonzo and Wes Kerr, thanks for staying up late with us. Till next time, go Loco.